This is the Midday Report on LALATE. From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday and a big holidays LA live broadcast from Santa Monica, California with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that incredible recon that is now in the Senate, and we could have a vote tonight that impacts your recon. And 2 senators of the 6 say they're putting in an MSC in the last 7 days. All the latest details on top of the nearly $45,000 or $50,000 that is in this fourth stimulus recon. You're going to get your bills paid right today from third stimulus. That viewers have gotten thousands of dollars today and this week and last week as well. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness and also fifth stimulus. But in the second half of this video, you'll be looking at the incredible LA Christmas tree. We're going back to the holiday Christmas tree park and go over how to prepare that tree for bringing it in. But the breaking news, you heard it first on this channel, Omicron in California. It's breaking news. It happened minutes ago. The first confirmed United States case of Omicron is right here in California. Not anything out of surprise. I'll tell you why we're expecting this to happen. It's the latest details. It's live on air. It's breaking. It's Santa Monica, California, where I am right now. And the excitement starts right this afternoon as holidays LALATE begins this midday. Hey, good noon, everybody. Happy holidays. And this is Holidays LA. The first half of this video, of course, the breaking news about financial markets and world events. And the second part is holidays. We're going to go over this incredible recon. Off to the Senate we go. And that Senate now has that recon. And there could be a big vote over on the House today. What is this? All the latest details. That recon could be adding lots of checks in there. No less than 4 different types of checks on top of nearly $50,000 of checks already in that fourth stimulus recon. Third stimulus still paying out tens of thousands of dollars this week alone to countless viewers. I'm going to show you how to get your bills paid, and then student loan debt forgiveness and fifth stimulus. Those details and more, plus the breaking news about Omicron's first confirmed case now in California. This is breaking news. This is minutes ago. And with that, I'm excited you're here. So make sure you go down on that button and hit the subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter. When breaking news goes out, you're going to have that newsletter to get the big sums of money under third stimulus, and also hit those LA alerts so you get an alert when a new breaking news like this one happens. Let's go into this incredible recon right now that is now in the Senate, and it is passed the House. That recon has lots of checks in there, and we initially thought it'd be $15,000, but it may be a lot more. It's looking like it could be upwards of $50,000 of checks. We're going to go over each of these incredible checks right off the board, but so far when we're looking at it, it's at least $15,000 $4,000. Cluster number 1, hazard pay, got in there, and then also got that elder care. Hazard pay, of course, is for those essential workers. 1 more year of the earned income tax credit. Expanded. Then $4,000 of elder care. $4,000 of young children's care. Then $3,600 for the CTC, the child tax credit for the young children, got in there. $550 checks for the Pell Grant for my college students. They got the home repairs totally free in there as well for my low-income community homes. And then, of course, the big exciting details in that first cluster is the $12,500 for the purchase of an electric car, and it is a front-end check. The first add-on comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here in Southern California, and it is money for the buying of your first home. It is huge. She wanted $25,000. She got a little bit less. And yes, this is free money for the purchase of your first home. Cluster number 2 got in there, which is home repairs paid leave. Also, the household tax credit and the pre-kindergarten 1 year. So what is the weatherizing your home? That is to ensure that your home sustains natural disasters like tornado, fire, and more. The second add-on comes from the wonderful senator from Pennsylvania. His name, of course, Bob Casey. He got that in there, and he wanted $250 billion of it. What is it? It is free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. He got a little bit less. He wanted $250. It came in just a little bit less, but boy, it is incredible. Then the third cluster checks got in there, and it is money for my seniors and more. This is the cluster we call deliciousness. This includes the following checks in this third cluster. We got in there the cheaper prescription medication, the free school meals for all, the immigration reform, the free internet, also the farmers, the money for the independent contractors, and the Medicare expansion. The Medicare expansion truly embodies what we're looking at right now when we're comparing House versus Senate, because guess what? The House members got 2 Medicare expansions in there, and the senators vow to add 3 more. What did they do? The House members got in their Medicare expansion of hearing and the Medicaid gap fix in those 12 states. The senators vowed to add in their dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Which brings us to what else those senators vow to add in there, and that is MSC, which stands for Multiple IRS Stimulus Check. We have 2 of 6 of our advocating senators that have said in the last 7 days it's going in there. And the breaking news is the following, that Lynn yesterday got the message from Chris Coons' senator's office in Washington, D.C., that Chris Coons is adding in an MSC. Last Wednesday, Janet got the message from Chuck Schumer's office in D.C. that he's adding in an MSC. This is huge because we got 2 of 6 senators vowing to add it in there. When they talk about adding an MSC, what are they talking about? At least 1 or more checks. And those checks, they vow to have the same eligibility as third stimulus, which was $75,000 or less single individual. You got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Double it. You got it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And your benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, they got it as well. Again, 2 of 6 senators' office telling viewers in the last 7 days is going in there. But this is not a surprise because thousands and thousands of viewers have been told the same message since May, that those stimulus checks are going in there from those 6 senators that you need to advocate to. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer have all told thousands of viewers since the month of May it's going in there. But you still need to advocate, as Janet and Lynn Glenn have been reminding viewers across the board. And in fact, one of those 6 senators, his chief of staff, says, I want you to advocate. And that senator's office said the following, that they need to hear your phone calls. They now have a total between congressional senators' office received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition, over 3 million. The LALATE viewership is now the biggest place on the globe for advocacy of forced stimulus recall. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through. They have the heartbreaking stories, and they're the voice of the people in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Here's the last sentence on air, which we need to read together. Please continue your continued advocacy. and encourage the encouragement as the professional voice of the people you have become, LALATE, until this becomes law. Absolutely. So the best way to do it, talking to a staffer in D.C. Second best, a voicemail. And the weakest is just a tweet. So pick up that phone and call and advocate Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocacy involves telling your particular story, why you need it. Don't use the words MSC. Use simple words across the board. And the new details today is that there is a vote potentially as early as tonight that'll clear the way to get that recon done sooner. What is that vote tonight? A proposed vote tonight. You're going to see the latest on it on Evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock. It's a brand new show tonight. Is a potential vote on the House side of the debt ceiling limit. Republicans and Democrats are agreeing about something. They do not want to default, and they do not want to do the debt ceiling limit this month. Too much to do. They don't want to do it this month. They are agreeing to move it to January. You're going to see a quick potential vote as early as tonight in the House, which would send it to the Senate as early as tomorrow, the day after. And that would be great for the recon because then it clears it up and gets that recon clear across the board. What else is happening with the recon today? What else is happening is that the Senate's in session, and you want to hope that Chuck Schumer gets this recon to the parliamentarian sooner than later. Why? Because Joe Manchin spoke today about one of the provisions, and it's paid leave. And it's been a sticky situation with paid leave. But you've seen on the recordings on this channel that I say paid leave may get taken out by the Senate parliamentarian. Easier to have her take it out than have it in a battleground with Joe Manchin. If it doesn't belong in there by Senate rules, have her take it out. Remember, if a provision is taken out, it frees up the money for you across the board to be put to other items like an MSC. Meantime, the importance of where we are today is that the White House has been trying to rush this recon through the Senate as soon as possible because of the president's falling poll ratings, but also because of Omicron. And the breaking news, as you heard on the top of this recording, this is minutes ago, folks. This is literally just about 4 minutes ago. The first U.S. confirmed case of Omicron has been identified, and it's here in California. Now, was it a surprise to me? No, it was not. In fact, I was having a chat with Dragon last night, and I said, you know, the case is going to show up in one of those hotbed spots that currently are a big question mark. Now, we yet do not know, perhaps in just a second from now, we'll know what city it is in California. But I came on camera so quickly that I wanted to deliver you the breaking news that it is in California. There have been several hotspots across the country. They are not yet linked with Omicron, but they have been hotspots. For example, Erie County in New York has 90% ICU capacity. In Middle California, they've been at 100% ICU capacity for several weeks. So if you remember what happened with Delta, there were these areas in the United States that had these massive surges in ICU capacity, and we didn't know what was going on. And then suddenly we learned about Delta, and then they said, oh, by the way, Delta's here. So we're going to see if it's repeating that same scenario. You're also going to see tonight on Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock. It's a brand new show, taped minutes ago. The president is considering new travel restrictions because of Omicron. What are these? Reports say the president's considering a negative PCR test for any domestic U.S. travel for anyone for a couple of weeks. Now, this is not an official announcement from the United States government yet, but this is what reports are saying. The president's considering a negative PCR test for even domestic travel until we settle down with Omicron. The situation with Omicron will be at least 30 days until we know anything about it. We do not know if the vaccines are resilient against it or work. We do not know if the boosters work. We do not know if we need a new booster. The testing on Omicron has been done by Moderna and Pfizer right on the ground since day one. Pfizer says about 100 days until they have a Omicron-specific booster ready. And the quote that I've been running on this channel from Moderna's head says it all. The Moderna CEO says, all the scientists I've talked to are like, this is not going to be good. And this is because Omicron has 30 spike protein mutations, but the big issue is the 10 mutations compared to Delta, which has only 2. So far, no deaths from Omicron, no cases that have been severe, just mild cases, less than 100 in South Africa. But the situation is very fluid. I delivered the first breaking news as soon as it happened about Omicron. I think it was Thursday last week, or Thursday or Wednesday. I can't remember. It was instant. And again, this is the breaking news. You're hearing it right on this channel, that the first case of Omicron is here in California. In the second half of this video, we cheer it up. We go into the holiday spirit. We're going to go back to that Christmas tree park. We're going to look at how to prepare that tree to bring it in the house. Very, very important. I'm going to go into the live chat and interact with you about Christmas tree preparations. Yesterday on this channel, we went over how to choose the tree, how to buy the tree. Today, we're going to go over how to prepare the tree and how to prepare its presentation before decoration. It's a whole effort, and you may want to make sure it's at issue. In the live chat, if you're in the live chat right now, jump in there and tell me, what type of tree do you like, and have you got that tree ready yet? And I'll be jumping in the live chat in the second half of this video to interact with you, but I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. First, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on holidays. LALATE, our live interactive show in its second season right now. In the second half, we're going to go over holiday tree picking and holiday tree importing into the house. A very big question across the board. If you have questions about rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more, and how to get in under third stimulus, join me next on Afternoons LA. It's coming up right after this video at 1 o'clock. We got a big new afternoon show at 3 o'clock. And then with a huge evenings LA, which may be taped by the time that potential vote is on the House side for the debt ceiling limit to be continued. During the commercial break, I pinned the comment. I don't usually do this that often. I did it with Janet last week. I pinned the wonderful comment by Thomas Family Homestead, Northern Wisconsin. It says, thanks to LA, we have now received $130,000 in different types of assistance from his help. Wow. That might be the single biggest item for a group ever reported on this channel. Let me read that again. Thanks, LA. We have now received $130,000 in different types of assistance for his help. Incredible. Lorraine has got an $120,000 mark. I think it's at $100,000. And you'll meet Johnny on Afternoons LA, who's helped 32 people get $850,000. But congratulations to the Thomas Family Homestead out of Northern Wisconsin. I love it. And remember, you can get it everywhere. There's every state that's paying those sums of money. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of the incredible family. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get the newsletter, so you learn about how to get these big sums of money from third stimulus. The newsletter comes out tonight at 7 o'clock. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, you need to do so you do not miss breaking news like the breaking news right now that Omicron has been identified in its first case in the United States here in California. In 2020, we went to the Christmas tree park, and the Christmas tree was really quite different than this year. We talked about how different the trees are this year compared to last year. Let's take a look back at that incredible Christmas tree park visit from 2020, and then jump into the present from footage filmed last Sunday.
Have the tree fully secured. There is nothing worse than a tree that collapses inside. I've had it happen. Everyone has had it happen. So make sure you got that tree secure. Finally, when you get the tree up, take your time. Take your time. I always start with the lights. Always start with the lights. Get the lights in position, and then after you get the lights in position, push them in, and then get the ornaments getting ready to go. In this video footage, for the first time ever on the channel, you're going to see the tree coming in position. Again, it's not finished. You're going to see it from the holiday park, the Christmas tree park, to its place on the set in its current unfinished condition. It is still not, it still needs a couple more days of decorating, but I'll show you the final product. And for now, here is the work in progress.
My fixed income is never.
She was not part of the Christmas tree park. She is the wonders of an embedded advertisement. So
now, when preparing the tree, I like one little cut right at the bottom. So I like one little cut. I don't want much moved off.
In this video, shot from last weekend, we are looking at how to prepare the tree before transporting. What's really at issue is the trunk. Here you see a tree, not the one I chose, but a tree that I may have chosen. And the trunk is relatively large, and the amount of trunk that is bare, that has no limbs, is relatively robust. I think it's about 3 inches you got there. So what I do is I want a clean, quick cut. I want it straight. Straight is very important because the straight cut will help ensure the tree sits flat in the base of the Christmas tree holder. If you don't have a straight cut, the tree is going to wobble. It's as obvious as that. You want it straight. Next, I do not want the tree park to remove any of those branches at the bottom. Why? Because then it looks like a tree that has a tree that's sort of missing stuff. The tree, you want as many branches as low on the bottom as possible because you want it to droop really close to the floor. Let's take a look at how the prepping of the tree at the tree park starts with that cut.
Now, when preparing the tree, I like one little cut right at the bottom. So I like one little cut. I don't want much moved off. Don't usually remove anything at the bottom of the tree because if you do have ornaments, items on the bottom, it'll look bare. So don't remove this and take very little off the base. Make sure it's a tight cut at the very, very bottom, what they call a fresh cut. And that's all I usually lead with. I don't do any more on the cutting of the tree. Now, when preparing...
Now, notice this tree that there is not a lot of growth on the bottom of the tree. So that is also consideration. You may not want to choose this tree because there's not a lot of growth underneath there. Understand if you are religious and have a manger on the tree, the manger has a certain amount of height. But even so, when you put the tree into the tree base, it will take up some of this empty space. So that's the benefit, is that most of these tree bases are relatively robust. Let's turn to tree bases right now, because tree bases is a real big topic of discussion that no one really covers, and it's very, very important. Tree bases, what holds the tree? Different options. The one they put on at the tree park and the one you buy and keep every year and after year. The one they put in the tree park, do not go with, where they put in those 2 pieces of wood underneath. Oh no, just horrible. Not a good idea because the tree's not getting water. Some tree parks have the basin with the legs. I don't like it either. Why? It's not secure. So, over the years, I have learned the lesson wow, which is please invest in a heavy tree base. If you cut corners here and you go for a 7 or 8 foot tree and you got a $10 tree base, you are going to hear that tree crashing in 10 seconds in the house. It ain't going to work. Over the years, when I was younger, I would get, the plastic tree base. Looks good. I mean, it looks substantial, but it's light. And you put a massive heavy tree in it, bam, tree's falling. Tree is falling. So after many, many years of learning that lesson incorrectly, one year just opted for a cast iron steel tree base. It's steel. It's literally all steel. There is no plastic in the instrument. The gauges are steel. Everything is steel. Why is this good? One, it ain't gonna rust. You can't keep it out in the garage. You gotta keep it in the house. It cleans really well. It cleans instantly. Number two, it's heavy as a mofo, so it ain't gonna fall. The tree ain't gonna fall, and the base ain't gonna move. The base is so darn heavy that, it's at least a 5-pound base, that it's gonna support the tree. Get an oversized tree base. So if there's some bases say will support 7 to 8, get the heaviest one they go. Yeah, the tree bases are expensive. They are at least $30, but you're going to use it every year and you're never going to have to replace it. They come dusted or paint brushed in a red or green. It doesn't rust. It stays beautifully. Now, how do you prepare that tree base in the home? This is how I'm preparing it on the LATE set right today. First, I use a plastic sheet on the ground. Now, this is not for decoration. This is to preserve the ground. So when you're at the home improvement stores, they always, when you're buying plants or something, they have a plastic sheet at the exit that's always free. Get a couple of these plastic sheets. Put that down on the ground first, on the floor first. Then I put an extra layer of fabric above that. In this case, I use a bed sheet. I use a white bed sheet. Put that over it next. Then what goes over that is your decorative item. Yesterday we talked about the decorative item. We talked about the Christmas tree skirt, the Christmas tree rug, and the Christmas tree blanket. There was all different versions over history. We were talking about First Lady Jill Biden's tree rugs in the White House for the holiday season, which were unveiled yesterday. Very, very 1970s and beautiful. But that would be on top. You want multiple protective layers, and I don't mean just fabric. I mean plastic synthetic that protects the ground. I don't care if the ground is engineered wood. You still want to protect it because these trees always leak. There's always something that's going to happen, or you wobble something. So there you go. Let's go into the live chat for just a second. What type of trees do you like? What height? Have you got the tree as well? Let me jump in the live chat. And I have a full room today. Heavy tree base, says Anne. Of course, you and I are going to comment on that heavy tree base. There is heavy as sirloin. Yeah, Canute says the tree base should be as heavy as sirloin. Absolutely. There's Don with some falsehoods. Don, this is a holiday show. Don posts, we aren't getting anything. Yeah, you are. You're getting $40,000 to $50,000 of checks so far in this recon. And if you bring that type of negativity, you're put in timeout. Timeout for Don. Tree base is heavy as a what? People liked my expression. Muffalicious. Muffalicious as Shirley. You should always cut at least a half of the bottom of the tree, says Dragon. Half inch off the bottom. Plus, a good idea is to put a hole in the bottom of the tree with a drill so that it absorbs water. Yeah. So bring an electric drill to the tree park, cut that half bottom off. Yeah, that is professional. I love Dragon is going in for the professional approach. A lot of the problems with a lot of these tree parks is you can't tell them this type of detail, that they really now keep you so far away from where the cutting is. But I agree exactly with Dragon. There's Janet. Hey, Jan, how are you? There's Shirley and Diane. We hung up all the trees in the garden center every year. Hard work. Oh, so Bonnie is hanging up a lot of Christmas trees in the garden center. Sounds absolutely wonderful. Bonnie says 7-foot trees are beautiful. And give me a wrench. Absolutely. So that was one of the topics we were starting to talk about last episode, but didn't finish. And now let's go into it right now. So preparing the tree base. What do I do outside? I take the tree base outside and I get some WD-40. The tree base you should be using is all steel or metal. It should not be plastic. And those twisting knobs should be steel or metal. You want to first WD-40 them. WD-40 is a lubricant. You just spray it on them, and that will help keep them able to turn. Don't do this afterwards. Don't do this afterwards. Do this ahead of time. They'll be able to spin very, very quickly. It's been sitting around the tree base for over a year, and it is tightened up. So you want to do that first. Next, get your plumber's wrench ready. I showed that on our first episode of this 2021 season. Get that plumber's wrench ready because you're going to want to not just twist those knobs with your hand. You're going to want to twist it also with a wrench. When you're going to the final tightening, you want to tighten it. Third, get the knobs open as far as possible. Get them open as far as possible. Don't do it sort of half the way and then put the tree in there like, oh, I didn't open it far enough. Get it open all the way. Then, when you got it in position, get the tree in there. You really need two people. You really need two people. I tell you why. One needs to hold it. One needs a spot that it's straight, and another person needs to tighten it. So one person needs to be on the ground doing the labor, the tightening. Another person needs to hold it to make sure the tree is straight. Why? Because if you don't, you're going to have someone tightening and the tree's going to be tightened like this. And then you're like, oh, I tightened a crooked tree. Yeah, doesn't work. Not even in Mitch's house. So you want to have one person making sure it's secured in an upward position and another one making sure it's tightening on the bottom. Then remember when you're making sure the tree is tightened vertical, that you step back, because a lot of trees don't look the same from different angles. You can look at one side of the tree and it may look sort of like this, and you look at the other side of the tree, it looks sort of like that. So you want to step back and look at it from all different sides. What I do is I get it pretty close with maybe 80% tightened, and then when I know I'm absolutely 100% right, we're good to go. Okay, now we're going to do 100% tighten. So don't do 100%, pull it back. Do about 80%, do a final spot check, then 100% tighten. You want that wrench to get it in real tight, then step it back. You're ready to rock and roll. Now, what about the transporting? Do you transport it with the ribbon, with a wrapping still on it, or without? I transport it with the wrapping, the orange string attached to it. I transport it with that on there. I bring it into position on top of the three layers we talked about: the tree skirt, the tree, the synthetic sheeting, and then the bed sheet. And then once it's in position, cut. Then I open it up, and you have to have like a little broom ready because it's going to drop pine needles right off the board. But I don't transport it unless it's closed up. And then when you're ready to end the season, you transport it that way as well. It just makes it easier. There's no door frame that is wide enough unless you live in a barn or a double hinged door or a double swung door that can take the open tree in so easily when it's fresh. And you really don't want to risk it because you don't want to hit the tree and then it bends and loses its shape. Let's go back in the live chat and see some of the incredible comments right now with some of the viewers. Hawk and roll, says Julie. Anne says, my tree base has eye bolts, so I use screwdriver to help screw the eye bolts into the trunk. Interesting. So using Anne's comments with Dragon, I would use an electric drill for that one to make sure it's really tightly in there. Very, very interesting. There you go. Len says, them real trees are a lot of work. I stick with an artificial tree. Yeah, a lot of people like artificial trees. Sandy's in the live chat. She has an artificial tree. And let's see some more of the comments. There is Reds. Hey, Bean. There is Mr. and Mrs. Clark. Hello, Mrs. and Mrs. Clark. Len Glenn says, I love to decorate. Absolutely. A lot of details across the board. Is New Jersey getting a check? When we talk about recon, we're talking about a federal program. So it's the same. It is a federal program. We're not talking about state programs. But great question. There is Tonya Lantern. My tree is 7 feet. Sandy says artificial trees, only real trees are tripled in price. Yeah, we were talking about that in yesterday's episode. The tree prices have gone up staggeringly even before the pandemic. The price of a tree now that would have been bought in, let's say, 2018 has really gone up almost. Sandy's right. I think she's right, about 300% since almost 2018. They made a big move in 2019, and then that's when they're talking about trees being in shortage. Then 2020 a little bit more, and then this year more on top of that. So they have really gone up a lot in just 3 years. There's Laura. Laura Howe, happy to join the live show today. Absolutely. Dragon, I just sent you a look of what the base tree looks like. Sandy has an antique village of Christmas lights. Beautiful across the board. So there you go. To go over what to recap about in this recording for that Christmas tree. When you're in the park, in the tree park, not the park itself, but the tree park, get a fresh cut of that tree. You want to get a fresh cut of that tree at the bottom. That fresh cut is important to ensure that water gets into the base. In yesterday's episode, I talked about putting the tree in a big bucket of water, 2 to 3 feet outside, and leave it there saturated for 1 to 2 days so it really eats up that water. The tree cut should be straight so that the tree sits flat in the base of the tree. Don't have the tree park take off any bottom branches at all because it'll make the tree look a little bit dense. Make sure that the tree has a lot of density at the bottom in choosing it. Dragon recommended to take a little bit more off the base of the tree. Some of the tree parks allow you to get that message to them. Some of them don't. Then prepare the tree base accordingly. Get a very heavy tree base. Make sure the bolts are WD-40 before starting the process. That's a lubricant. Open the bolts all the way out. Get the tree in a position. Have a second person hold the tree. Look at the tree. Spot it. Make sure it is in a good position. Then give it about an 80% turn. Double check the position again. And if the tree is in a good position, then at that point, close it in for the 100% and you're ready to rock and roll. The top of this video was the breaking news, if you're just joining late into this video, which is Omicron, its first case, now identified in California. Not a surprise to a lot of people because a lot of people knew about the hot spots in certain parts of this country. And those hot spots sort of mirrored what happened before. We had hot spots before Delta. We didn't know why we had hot spots. And then we had Delta. We're still seeing details about that first case. This was a rush recording, even though it was on time and our usual time slot of 11 a.m. The breaking news came on air. I went on air. As soon as the breaking news came in, we know very little about it. As soon as those details are revealed, I'll have them tonight on Evenings LA. Also at issue is a potential vote in the House of Representatives tonight. This is a vote potentially on the debt ceiling limit to move it to January. Democrats and Republicans agree. They don't want to do it in December. Too much at issue. They don't want to default. They don't have time to do it. They don't want to do it now. They want to move it to January. It's big for you, great for you, because that would free up time to do the recon in this month. The recon would be freed up by doing the debt ceiling, moving the debt ceiling limit out of this month. And you're likely to see that vote tonight. All the latest details on Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock. It's a brand new show. Evenings LA will be taped right after this recording. We'll have the latest details out of that vote, the latest details about Omicron. And also revealed at the top of this recording is reports, not confirmed yet, but reports the president's considering a negative PCR test required for U.S. domestic travel, even of U.S. citizens, because of the concern about Omicron. We're going to see whether that's going to happen or not. Meantime, we have a big show tonight on Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock, which this video will automatically take you to, with 2 of 6 senators saying they're putting in an MSC on the Senate side. Len Glenn getting the incredible message from Chris Coons yesterday, and Janet getting the incredible comment from Chuck Schumer the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So make sure you advocate. Casey, Coons, Sanders, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Go into this video, because where else are you seeing the breadth of this reporting like here? The number 3 most watched financial news channel in America right now. Like the video. Consider becoming a member to the incredible newsletter that comes out tonight at 7 o'clock that shows you the big money under the third stimulus. I'll show you how to get rent and utilities coming up next on Afternoons LA. And hit that LA alert button so you get alert when breaking news happens. Thank you for your incredible comments and suggestions on your Christmas decorations. Lorica had some wonderful comments for me. I'll feature her comments tomorrow. If you have comments as well that you want to feature on Holidays LA, send to me on private message. And also, if you have success stories for rent and utilities, send those to me as well. Thank you for joining me on a big noontime live broadcast direct from Santa Monica. And coming up next is the 1 o'clock Afternoons LALATE. Have a beautiful afternoon and stay with LA for more.